Hello, everybody, and thanks for being here. I'm Yolanda Perez, the director of BioStartup of Banco Sabadell, and it's my pleasure being here today. We are sponsors of South Summit since the beginning, and I would like to take advantage to congratulate the great team that make that possible. We are very proud of what they have achieved so far in these 10 years. We think that, in fact, they have acted as an accelerator of the Spanish ecosystem itself at the end of the day. And we all know, that also in these last 10 years, this ecosystem has seen an enormous growth. And that's what we have organized this table with two outstanding examples of these startups that were created 10 or 12 years ago and have been at the forefront of this huge change of the ecosystem. And we have with us, as Liz has said, Laura Urquizu, CEO and president of Redpoints, and Felipe Navío, co-founder and co-CEO of Job and Talent. And regarding ourselves, BioStartup of Banco Sabadell, we consider ourselves also as part of this ecosystem. We started 9 years ago offering specialized financial services for startups. And in a nutshell, what we do is banking services for startups, scale-ups, unicorns, and we serve more than 4,200 clients in all Spain. And besides that, we also do venture capital in early stage. We have invested in 77 companies. One of the first ones was Redpoints in 2014. And of course, it's the best performer we have. In fact, we have very good performance investees, but of course, Redpoints is a very, very good scale-up startup. So, we are going to talk with them. And first of all, we want to know a little about yourselves, about your personal background, the creation of the company, the birth of the company, and also a little about where the company is today, some facts and figures, the goals you have achieved so far. Very brief. But do you want to start, Laura?
Yes. Sure. I'll go. So hi everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, with both of you and all of you. So as Yolanda said, I'm Laura Urquizu, and as a personal background, to summarize a lot, I can tell you that the driver in my professional life was always digital transformation, for many, many years. And this digital transformation, I had the opportunity to do it in very big companies, even in a bank where I was leading all the technological and the digital bank and the online bank. Everything that it was not the business, let's say, let's put it that way. And then I joined one of the first venture capitals that there were in Spain, many years ago, in 2008. The name was Eurecan, that we put 60 millions of that time, in startups all over Spain. And don't ask me about the ROI, but we created an ecosystem, especially in Barcelona and Madrid. And then after that, in 2014, I became an entrepreneur. I came to the light side of the ecosystem when I joined the Redpoints. That it was a company that was already founded, but it was very small. We were 10 people in September 2014, and we just had the investment of Banco Sabadell. And first thing we did, then we did all the series of financing, fundraising. in our journey, in our journey since then, since September 2014, we raised about $62 million for the company. $20 million were for secondary, so for the company has been 42 million. That's still a lot. And now we are around 30 million ARR, more or less. We are about 300 people, like very stable. And we are in headquarters is in Barcelona, and we have offices in New York, Salt Lake City, Beijing, because a lot of our business, 60% of our business comes from US.
Fantastic. How about you, Felipe?
Perfect. So I'm Felipe Navillo, co-founder of Job and Talent. First of all, thank you so much for the invitation.
Pleasure.
And on my personal background, I mean, what I did is I used to be a consultant for a couple of years after finishing university. So I work at McKinsey, great place, learn a lot. But being honest, I wanted to be an entrepreneur and to start, like I was not smart enough. So I just quit and just decided to build my own thing with Juan. And we started the company in 2008-9. So if you remember, in those times, we were on the crisis, more than 20% unemployment rate, more than 40-50% youth unemployment rate. And still companies having a hard issue to get people to get jobs. So somehow what we realized is that the labor market was not really working properly, and there was an opportunity to actually change that. So that's why the reason that why we started Job and Talent many years ago. During that journey, we have been changing a lot, trying to find our product market fit, same mission, but with a different execution. And like probably we'll talk a little later, but the biggest moment was in 2016 when we moved to what Job and Talent is today. And Job and Talent is a platform that at the end of the day helps blue-collar workers to get job stability and thrive through their work. And we do that by creating a marketplace between those blue-collar workers and the companies, and we take care of everything. The sourcing, screening, we are the employee of record, we manage the shift, the clocking, payroll, taxes, incidences, everything end-to-end. We don't stop there because actually we want to kind of improve the quality of life as well of the blue-collar population. So once we give them the job stability, we keep on going up, giving financial inclusion, early wage access, financing, training, feedback, coaching, because we believe that there is a big opportunity to change and to improve the life of those 500 million people, while we give flexibility to the companies that they also need that. Right now, Job and Talent is, in terms of investors, we raise money from firms like SoftBank, Kinnevik, Atomico, as well. Our first investor in Spain was Kibo. We are right now in over 1 billion euros in revenue, EBITDA positive. More than 100,000 people worked through Job and Talent last year, and we have a global presence, because we are all around Europe. UK is our biggest country. We recently launched the US, that is growing a lot. So that's a bit of the.
Wow, it's amazing. Let's delve a little more on how did you achieve all that. As we have limited time, maybe you can explain us in which decisive moment did the company started to scale and what triggered that change,
Sure. So, well, in our case, I assume that most of the people know, but in Redpoints what we do is we have a solution to help the companies to recover their revenue, fighting piracy, counterfeiting, digital impersonations, and so on. Fraud in the internet. So for us, we really started to scale when we clearly defined our go-to-market. Like in 2015, we used a lot of time to define the go-to-market, what were the kind of clients that we should address, what industries. Well, we really found, and this is when we really found a blue ocean. And why I'm saying this? Because before us, that we had this idea of putting technology in an ecosystem where there was no technology, before, in a place that there was no technology before, there were other competitors addressing very big companies, like the largest companies of the world. We can all name them. But those medium companies and small companies, they were not served. And we found that they needed us. They needed the solution. So we found a blue ocean selling to SMBs and main market. And this is how we grew very fast. That was like the first time that we found something different. And the second time, I would say, was in 2018 that we again boosted the scaling. No? We boosted the growth by going to US. When we went to US in January 2018, and we opened the office there, and we started to address intensively the American market.
Good. In our case, like probably we're not a good role model, no, finding that because it took us a couple of years, no, because we have been running for 13 years, and actually for the first 7 years, like Job and Talent was much more a classified model, a job board, moving to mobile, a bit of the corner jobs, Job Today, and we got some volume, no, like 2 million monthly active users, like a couple of probably vanity metrics, like quite good. But the truth is, Juan and myself, like when we were speaking with the users, when we were speaking with the companies, what we were getting, it was like, it's good, but it's not great. And what people at the end of the day want is great products, great user experience. No? And all of us, we know what is a great user experience. No? And what we realize is that by just being a job board and just introducing, but not having the data of what happens after that, we couldn't really improve, we couldn't do the matchmaking, we couldn't really help the workers to get paid properly, get paid on time, and all of that. No? So I remember, like we're coming back from a trip, after that trip, we decided, like that the only way, it was like changing the whole business model. Actually, it's evolving a bit of the business model. We sat with our board. That was a funny conversation, as you can imagine, because we decided to stop, like the old model. Like you need to burn bridges. Like it's not like you can still do what you used to do and do the new things. So we stopped. It was hard because actually we have to go through reduction of the company, layoffs. The press kill us, like completely. My parents were super worried, So at the end of the day, like it was hard. But then, like once we were able to do that change, there was the product market fit, no? As you said, like you find something that it was a 10x. And suddenly from that year, like we made more revenue than we used to do. And from that, we started to scale 10x the next year, 3x. And that was that key thing on just focus on making something 10x better than what exists.
Very interesting experience. And regarding what you were explaining now, looking back, what would you have liked to have known at the beginning the beginning of the years of the company?
Well,
that you know now.
Everything.
Yeah.
You have learned. This has to do with
everything,
lessons
because
learned,
maybe we will
do's
not
and-
be here.
Exactly.
No, that's lessons learned and do's and don'ts. I don't know.
Yes, no, that's funny. So, well, as Felipe is saying, it's a roller coaster. There are some days that is so good, some days that are so bad, and in the bad days you think, what the hell am I doing here? But to pick up something. And I guess that here in the audience there's a lot of founders of startups, so hopefully they can use something that I'm going to say now. So, when you start raising money, you get infatuated by some profiles of people that you want in your company, no? It's like, oh my God, yes, we need put it this way, a CTO that has done this thing incredibly. Oh yeah, look at this. This one comes from Silicon Valley, and it's been very successful in this company, and so on. And also, well, let's say that the investors, they tend to promote that, no? Yes, you need this kind of people. Well, it's a very, very, very big mistake to hire that kind of people if there's no cultural fit. So they can be the best people in the world, they can be very successful in their own companies, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be successful in your company. Because maybe they want to come to Madrid or Barcelona or wherever for some reasons, they don't really care about your company, and there's no cultural fit. And you see it in the interview, no? And your gut feeling is like, oh, this guy is not going to fit here, but yeah, technically it's wonderful, and you feel the pressure of the investors and the rest of the team, but you see, technically it's incredible, and it's been in la from Silicon Valley. You end up hiring, you pay a fortune, you lose a year, that person may be toxic. So I will say that that will be one thing that I would have liked to know at the beginning of the journey.
Actually, I was going to say culture and talent, no? Because at the end of the day, startups is about that. And at the end of the day, culture is difficult, no? Because, it's not so easy from day one to understand what type of culture, no? Because to understand the culture is kind of going to therapy to understand how you are as a founder, how your management team are as founders, no? And probably we should have done this before, like Juan and myself, to sit and really define and put it in writing and then inputting those things into the recruitment process, feedback, because it's not only hiring, it's about what is the people that you need to let it go, no? Because sometimes culture is not what you do, it's what you tolerate, no? And at the end of the day, everybody likes to hire, but nobody likes to fire, no? So at the end of the day, I really think that you need to be conscious about every hiring that you do. You really need to make sure that I agree with you 100%, that it fits on that culture, no? On that behaviors that your team, the people that connect with you actually have, and then be obsessed to keep that bar or even keep on increasing that bar, no? And maybe not all the people for the first journey is going to be on the second one and on the third one, but you need to have that expectation, no? Because if not, you have the risk of, even when you grow, to have a silos culture, and then the company will break at some point.
Yeah, and regarding to that, because this is the most important thing, is about the mindset of the moment to complement. Because as you say, Felipe, is the culture and the moment when that person joined the company. Because at the beginning, the profile also is very different to the, like after 7 years, 8 years. You need people with different mindset, no? The beginning is kind of entrepreneurial people that they don't mind to do anything, and 8 years later, maybe some more people more process-oriented, no? So the mindset is very relevant, both, and this, as you can see, is the most important thing, people.
Yeah, and I have to say that from our experience, at the first years of the companies, entrepreneurs don't devote enough time to that, and it's very tough to them to devote time to people. And at the end of the day, it can be a great difference on the company. Yeah.
But go and speak with entrepreneurs as well. Like something that I didn't do so much and now I do a lot. I go to LinkedIn, I find an entrepreneur that I like, and I text to him or her, like, hey, let's meet. Some reply, some don't reply. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like there is good community, like in that sense. And before in Spain, like when we were starting, like maybe there were 1, 2 examples, no? But now it's really easy, both here and globally, like to connect with people, like do it. Go on LinkedIn, everybody's there. It's so easy.
Good tip. Well, to conclude, because we only have 5 minutes left, but taking into consideration the tough or the challenging times that we are living in, how do you see your sector? How do you view that situation in your sector nowadays, and which is the main challenge for your company at that moment, or the next big challenge? How are you going to tackle it?
Well, after a pandemic, a war, a macroeconomic situation, I don't know what's next. So if there's a new challenge, well, here we are for it. But listen, for us, in Redpoints, we have a vision, that is to be the leaders of our sector, no? The total leaders, no? It's the same thing that when you need a CRM, you say, okay, I'm going to call Salesforce, or you need people, I'm going to call Job and Talent. What we want to do is, we have a problem of online fraud, let's call Redpoints. That's what we want. So the challenge continues, remains the same, that is to get there. And being more specific, this year, there is a big challenge because we know that the financial markets have collapsed. So these things that we used to do, growth, finance, the growth is broken, no? Because the financial markets, at least at our stage, not at all stages, it's different for companies in Series E, A, and B, that's totally different. But in our stage, that is later stage or later stage, it's problematic. So we have to figure out how to do it without having that much financing and making the company profitable. So we're doing that at this moment, all of it, growing and becoming profitable. So it's a nice challenge.
It is, for sure. And you?
Yeah, I mean, in our case, we're in labor, no? So at the end of the day, bad economic situation means unemployment, and that's not good. But on the other side, it's a 5 trillion industry where we do 1 billion, we're extremely small still, so there is a big opportunity actually to keep on capturing, like market share. And we believe that even now, even more, because companies will try to optimize and try to understand better solutions. And at the end of the day, probably we were lucky to have raised money at the end of the year. But as well, we are taking this moment as well a chance to stop and reanalyze, no? Because when you're growing so fast, you relax the bar. It's difficult, to grow and keep on having same bar everywhere. So from time to time, it's good to have those moments of, just stopping 1 second, looking at it, raising the bar again, and making sure that, especially the culture, is where you want to be. No, so I think it's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
We have lived a couple of crises, so it tends, it tends to have something positive out of it, independently from all the bad messages everywhere. Startups, they survive. They find a way to survive.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not that pessimistic because there's a lot of news, there's a lot of pessimism, but I mean, there's not really signs that everything is going so bad, It's, I'm more optimistic than what I'm reading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have seen in COVID times has been very good for the ecosystem, and startups are the kings of resilience, and so everything will be okay. We have run out of time, so thank you very much for your attention. Thank you to Laura and Felipe for joining us and for their interesting insights. And of course, congratulations for your achievements. Let's give them a warm round of applause.